all of us cry and say, oh, we wish death was not pronounced in Genesis chapter 3. But look at how God took something as death and turned it around for life.
So, John,
Yes, Harish.
as usual, I have something very peculiar. When Bible talks about Lucifer,
Right.
Bible says that Lucifer was very close to God.
Correct.
And he was very dear to God, and he was singing praises and everything.
Right.
And now we know that he is in a fallen state, right? And Bible says, like, since God loves us so much, he has sent his only son as a result of redemption, right? Reconciliation.
Right.
Why didn't God take any measures to redeem Lucifer?
Deadly question. Well, let me start with this. God did create Lucifer, who was a perfect angel.
Yes.
But you need to know he was a spiritual being. And he didn't have a body.
Yeah.
Now, very clearly, I find this is the best part of Genesis. All of us cry and say, oh, we wish death was not pronounced in Genesis chapter 3. But look at how God took something as death and turned it around for life. God probably in his sovereignty knew that Adam and Eve would eat from the fruit of knowledge of good and evil.
Definitely.
Now, if they ate from the fruit of the knowledge of good and evil, they would have been fallen. And if they ate the tree of life, then they would have been locked like Lucifer.
Yeah.
But it's very fascinating that God put a curse. If you eat of this, you surely will die. And actually, that was God's escape or exit strategy
Yes.
to save mankind.
So you're saying death is actually the exit strategy for mankind?
Absolutely, because the moment death came, which means Jesus also could come and die for us on the cross.
Yes.
And because of Jesus dying on the cross, him being buried, he could be resurrected. See, if there's no death, could there be a resurrection, first of all? So man would have been trapped in his fallen nature forever. And that's exactly how Lucifer is. He's trapped in his fallen nature. He cannot be redeemed because he doesn't have a body, and he cannot partake in what Jesus did because only humans can partake in what Jesus did, because God became flesh as human.
Lucifer doesn't have flesh.
Yes, so God became, and that's the reason why actually God became flesh also.
Yes, for humans.
So that he would die for the sins, bury and be raised on the third day, so that the whole sense of regeneration and restoration could take place.
Yes.
For Lucifer, he doesn't have a body, and so there cannot be any regeneration. And so the doctrine of the human body is very critical biblically.
Yeah.
In many church circles, they focus a lot on the spirit and the soul, but body is very, very important biblically. And that's why there's a resurrection of the dead.
Understood. Very clear, John. Thank you.